Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to BeoTalk 251. By the way, excuse me for being ultra late with uploading the audio-only version of last week. Got a bit busy with packing and nonsense.
Moving.
Yeah, and God, it's annoying. Anyway, go have a look at our friends over at Skinny Play, and you can buy yourself a cover for a lot of things, actually. And if you use the promo code MickeyPD4 in all caps, you get 10% off. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they have covers for BeoLab 8000s now.
Yeah, I noticed that the other day. That's sick.
So, so the promo code works for that too if you want to do something like that. So, that's sweet. And we'll probably have a gander through all the different looks you can give them. There's probably a custom option, so you can, I don't know,
make them look like concrete.
Yeah,
I think that would be sick. Well, right there they are. I think you just scroll them concrete. Yeah, fudge. Those are sexy.
I mean that actually looks really good.
Yeah, man.
Or if you want something different, and as per usual with Skinny Play, you can always get it back to the original, and it's always fully removable, so no glue and nonsense like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, that's sick. I like that because if you get the feet from Prestige, then it doesn't look like being a speaker anymore, but it still is.
Yeah, fully modernized.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, we also obviously have our friends over at Prestige. They have a promo code running until March 31st of this month. Is it this month? Yeah, it's March, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you get 10% off of whatever you buy, really. So that goes for everything, including the remote holders that are now also wall holders. You can get your wood covers. You can get 8,000 wall brackets to go with your Skinny Play. And if you don't want to mount stuff on a wall, you can have the feet covers to make it look a bit more modern. Or
I like the wood. That's cool.
Yeah. And they even have these in stone somewhere, I think, as well.
Yes.
And that's actual marble instead of the sort of cast, was it metal stuff
Mm-hmm.
uses the pig iron that weighs
a
shit ton.
The Chinese granite.
Yeah.
Chanet, I guess.
So we have that. Come join our Discord, which is always also good fun. I think Guy caught the last bit of it, but I had Formula One running, so if you don't feel like paying Henrik, you can watch it on the Discord.
Nice.
And as per usual, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. Check if you're still subscribed, because YouTube is kicking people off again for some reason. And leave a thumbs up, because YouTube algo changed and they don't like long form content anymore. So the thumbs up really help.
Yeah, we're too controversial.
Yeah, and well, it's everybody that does long form content, really. Even if you upload videos that are longer than 20 minutes, somehow they don't like you. But it is what it is. Apparently, YouTube now does podcasts or something. I'll have to figure out how that goes. And if you feel like a guaranteed answer to your question and or topic, a super chat will guarantee such a thing. And and then we're there. And like Guy said, Aston Martin snuck up on everybody. And congratulations to Alonso, because B&O logo right on the chin, on third place.
Nice.
So B&O's on the podium. Weirdly,
That's
probably
good.
with the cheaper sponsorship with Alonso than with Ferrari, because Ferrari botched it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it's a good.
B&O's on the podium.
Right on. It's a good move for them, I think, in any way.
Yeah, which is sweet. And we'll have a Tuesday show on Tuesday. How's your week been?
Pretty busy, I guess. I was busy with doing some repairs in the shop, and also I've been cracking down on the theater for a bit here, especially with the vibrations, and I'll get into those in a bit. But I think the biggest thing that happened over the week, it was the new software update that came out, and I'm on the beta software, and so was my next door neighbor that I gave the level to, and like she's texted me, I think at least 4 times that it's crashed, but she also reports it and sends the logs to BNO. Like she's smart enough to do that, so at least there's somebody that comprehensively also reports, not just me, and we basically are, I guess, quote unquote, on the same network because it's all Ubiquity ran. And yeah, like the way that she listens to music is either AirPlay or Spotify Connect, and the level would crash. Like it would crash to the point that you'd have to remove the battery charger from the back, press and hold the, like basically put it in storage mode. So hold the power button for 20 seconds till it completely kicks off, leave it for a bit, and then turn it back on, and then it works normally. I went there yesterday and we just reversed it from beta to regular. Haven't heard anything back from her yet, so I think it's all working. I'm still on the beta on my theater.
Yeah, there. I read on the Discord actually, and thank
Mm,
you for Christian for keeping us posted that there was some issue with the Spotify API and something uh, changed there, and if you were connected at all, it would just sort of lock itself.
hmm So that's what was happening for her. For me, weirdly,
Mm-hmm.
I actually made a log,
Manual one.
manual log of so this is Feb
One one zero
28.
one one zero 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 11.
So, but listen to the timelines. This is 1924, 1900 hours 24 30 seconds. Reboot from teaser link to emerge. 2014 30 seconds. Reboot teaser link from emerge. So literally, like 40. It was every 20 minutes because I missed one cycle. And then 2045 10 reboot from Deezer emerged with M3 joined, and it started all off essentially when I powered up the M3, updated the software, got the BNO radio on the ASC platform,
Mm-hmm.
and it was joined here together with the emerge in the bathroom and the theater in my living room. And then this is the next day. I had again rebooted Deezer from Emerge. Deezer was streaming from Emerge, so Emerge was the lead speaker with M3 joined, and the theater just power cycled itself. And same thing, 7 in the morning the following day, the theater went again. And then I had a couple instances where the theater was playing. This is on March 1st. That YouTube rebooted. I was watching YouTube and the theater rebooted with the panel unaffected. Basically, the sound switched. It turned off the arc and it went back into the TV, and then the theater came back on, and it just came back on. And the same night, it also did reboot from YouTube the second time, like it did it twice. And ever since then, like I went to work, so I'm like, fuck it, there's no pin codes anymore on these things, so I just unplugged it and left it unplugged for the whole day. And in the meantime, also this week there was an update for the LG panels, G2 as well. It somewhat sort of kind of works now that I get retained connection to the Wi-Fi once the panel turns on, because
Hmm.
it's not the problem with the theater, because the theater does turn on. Like if I go to BNO radio, it fires up from the my button, turns the stand, whatever, it works, no problem. But the panel, when it turns on, it just doesn't load up the network for some weird reason.
Hmm. Yeah, I was
So
hearing that a lot of people also had theaters just randomly switch off on them.
that's for me, it was not switch off. It just literally rebooted itself because I looked, I'm like, what the hell? Uh, at one point, the one cycle that I missed, I was actually in the shower and I was listening to the emerge from the theater, and it's on the Mozart platform. If the lead speaker shuts off, the whole thing shuts off, right? So all
Hmm.
of a sudden, just like it went dead. I'm like, what the hell? And I'm listening. I'm like, oh, okay, everything went dead. And then I just heard the boop boop, right? I'm like, oh man, the theater power cycled again. I'm like, that's weird. And there was one time that my theater power cycled from BNO radio. Yeah, it was 10:56 on March 1st. and it also power cycled the same time with her level power cycled. So I don't know. That was more or less just a weird ass coincidence, but we both had the same time failure of the Mozart's platform. So I don't know if there's some sort of a handshake issue even with the Beo portal or the main server, or I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But after I had it power cycle for more or less turned off the whole day, everything started to work no problem right now. And I'm still reluctant. Not that I'm reluctant. I just don't want to go and retune the room, because I know that if I go back from uh, the beta platform, I'm going to lose all the tuning, right? Because I'm basically going to reinstall the operating system on the bloody thing. So I don't know if and also, like, I think somebody needs to have that in order to report on this, right? Like, it's just,
Yeah.
that's the, I'm not here to just like be mad about this. I just, these are the issues that are happening. I'm reporting them because, what's the point of me just bitching about it?
Well, yeah, it's good for
And
them to know. I mean, otherwise they don't know what to fix, right? I mean, I've had that so often in previous work where people were annoyed at something not working, but they never told anybody. It's like, I can't mind read.
yeah, and that's exactly it. So that's one of the things, I'll suffer with it. I don't mind. I finally actually appreciate it, because before that, I was begging for years and years to be part of this, as you can tell, or on the podcast, as we both were, we offer this. Like, it's not just, we bring assholes about it. It's a constructive criticism that helps everybody else's for their cause. So
Yeah. So I just put in a poll in the chat, so if people feel like answering it, it sort of gives a, I don't know, within our audience anyway, an overview of is it common, or is it one of these things where the people that have issues scream the loudest, that sort of thing? Sometimes it feels like there's a storm in a bottle because it's like 5 people have something and they amplify each other and it gets away from you.
hmm
But
but also, like, if I think about it, like, a lot of the installs we've done, well, not a lot, but uh, a good percentage are like cottages, right? So people that have that system there, maybe they see it once a week, whatever. So in the meantime, if it crashes, it reboots or updates itself or does whatever, you're very likely to just come into a fully working system, unless you had some weird ass, brownout or something that it just affects the thing in a way that you need to power cycle it yourself when you get to the place. It's a little different experience when you live with this every day, and that's your main music system and your main entertainment system essentially right now.
well, it doesn't
So
make it any better if you come back to a fully rebooted home that needs to be fully set up again.
mm.
It's just like, oh,
Well, but
let's
if the
take a
theater
vacation. Oh no,
if the theater
damn it.
reboots, it's not a big deal, because it just, like, it reboots whatever. Like, you just turn on the source and that's that, right? Like, the way I watch this and enjoy my content essentially is all through streaming media, YouTube, Plex, and I subscribe to Amazon Prime now.
Yeah.
And speaking of Amazon Prime, I've ordered Tessa felt tape,
Mm-hmm.
because I am starting to have immense issues with wings actually vibrating on. And I narrowed it down. It essentially, I think that what B&O should have done is they should have either used Loctite, because there's no way to take the wings apart. I've tried. Look at it. I'm not going to pry them open or whatever. But the screws that are there, they're essentially the part of the wing that goes under the keel or whatever
Yeah.
and goes under, that touches the aluminum substrate basically from the bottom of the theater, the boat.
Yeah.
And no matter how tight you get it, over time, it's just not that it works itself loose in my case, like, because I went tight on it, like, I didn't, till the O-rings come out, but I tightened it properly.
Get
And
like a
the
6-foot torque wrench out.
fudge, man,
Like,
and the wings now are loose, so I'm waiting for, not loose, but they can rattle. So I need that Tessa tape to actually line the entire bottom rail where the wings actually touch the aluminum and the whole substrate.
Hmm.
That's one thing. There's another thing, that those quarter cups or whatever that are covering basically where the wall bracket motor would go.
Yeah.
Those plastic things. I think that they need to be a little bit more padded because you don't really see them anyways. But I think that they also are a cause of the vibration. Like I had spent a lot of time on this goddamn theater not vibrating, and I've narrowed it down to a few things that. Plus, I padded the heck out of the back, so all the cables, everything is padded. There's no possible way other than the panel itself, like the VESA mount. Nothing rattles in there, so that's significantly reduced. I have nothing in my theater, but still, or the VESA mount screen. I still, for me, it's the wings, and we also, I think, what B&O should start doing is they should glue for the price that they charge, which is $1,700 for the, it's $20 for one of those lamellas, basically what we worked out, $22 for one of those little pieces of wood. So because there's 74 of them times 22, so you get $1,700 worth of wood and plastic. I honestly think they should start gluing this together because it depends on what you listen to. It does make an audible vibration. Now, people like Sandeep per se will never know because his bass comes out of 50s.
Yeah.
And like people that have attached speakers to it, when they don't use it in a triangle setup like I do, they will never know. But once you have this behave as a subwoofer, also, then it does affect on the different vibrations that it becomes audible. So
I'm gonna check mine probably tomorrow, maybe tonight. But mine so far has been fine. But it's also separate, so there's less to touch, and maybe the bracket is slightly different. As in, I know for a fact there in the wall bracket there's a bit more play, right? So
yes,
some of the micro vibrations can go into the bracket instead of into like the wings, because on the floor stand the balls from below are so solid you're not moving that.
no, and for me it's on the floor stand, so there's not much, whatever could be absorbed as far as the resonance of it, it goes down the stand and up the screen more or less, right?
Yeah.
To just, but yeah, the wings definitely they do move with the sound. I honestly think they almost made it too powerful. In a way, I think they made it just way too powerful for what it is, or they just like there's too much juice, too much bass on it, in ways. So on its own, right? Like the tunic on its own. It's not. I'm not talking for people that have speakers with it set up in a surround scenarios and whatever else have you. It's a different story. Or if you don't even just at front and left, like it's completely different. Because then
Could it also be that, like, if I don't know, the normal theater is, let's say, a gin and tonic, that you have a gin and tonic with a slightest touch of lime in it, or lemon, that it's like 5% lemon.
I don't think it's a lemon. I'm seeing this, in the shop. I'm seeing this, and I'm seeing this here.
I mean, the only reason I'm thinking, like, for the wings moving, I only attach my wings once. And, I mean, when you got yours, you had the 55-inch things, you took those out, and, like, because you screw into plastic, right? You're not screwing into
but
threads.
I matched, you always go counter, you match the threads, right, that you already created. So I didn't go double on it. So, no, they're screwed on properly. It's just the way that they vibrate. It's weird, man. It's touching. It's not. It's just a little underside on their part that there should have been a Tessa tape, which I'm going to put on there as soon as it comes in next Thursday.
Max, your Harmony started rebooting. If you had a Horizon, it would be normal. Because that's on the awful Android platform that barely works anymore.
Well, hopefully I think Harmony is here to stay, so they gotta come out with something that maybe has a Mozart in it.
So Max has had it now. Sandeep had just had it again, where his TV just switches off for no reason.
So yeah, I'm not going crazy, man. Like there is something that I think
something
the
in the
update.
last 10 days changed because it's been literally the
Yes,
last week or
solid. It was
so.
solid. It was solid before the update came out, man. And
Well, the
then the
thing is,
update just
Sandeep is on
derailed.
the old software. I am too. I'm still on
Mhm.
2.3.4. So when I think it was Mr. Ballbag on
Mr.
the
Pele.
on the Discord said it, I was like, oh, okay, auto update off. I'm not participating in this thing, and this is partially why I'm like, I'm happy to be out of beta before moving. Uh, like if I'm moved into a new place and have the time and don't have to spend hours packing and that sort of shit, right? Then I'll be your beta tester. That's fine. But right
Mhm.
now, if my TV goes, I don't feel like spending an hour on trying to fix it again.
Figure out what's wrong with it.
Yeah, because I use that time for something else. Like it's actually needed now.
Now you're busy.
Yeah. Well, I remember with the 28, it was annoying because sometimes it took you literally 3 hours to reboot these bloody things. I mean,
Yeah.
fortunately, it was only once or twice, but it's still like, okay, well, fine, I'm on beta. Okay, I'll deal with it. It's fine, and it's something to talk about. But like we'll be here for another 2 weeks or so, and then it's kind of like, yeah, I'm out of time. I can't be dealing with all this shit.
Send yourself a brick theater across the pond.
Yeah, and then fingers crossed it works there, right?
Yeah. So
Like I'm not
no,
doing
I
that.
get it. I'm okay with it because I want to contribute to the good cause of the software updates and make it work well for everybody, including myself. Because it's
So
not just
yeah. So it seems like it's not only like most people don't have anything, but it seems to be that people have it on
some.
beta and old software too.
Hmm.
Because
I think that there might have been some sort of an impedance in communication with the BeoPortal server.
it could be like Sandeep says that it's an LG thing, like something in their update changed, and that they just sort of like you deal with it, and we're not going to tell you, figure it out.
But that also makes sense, but it doesn't make sense for my neighbor on a level that
No,
she's getting rebooted on that. So,
but that most likely was the Spotify thing.
okay.
Because there was an update. Let's see, I'm quoting here. All right, just been told that Spotify have solved it on their end now, so all crashes related to Spotify, at least on beta software 2.5.3.102, should have ceased. There was a Spotify API in the beta that was causing the crash. So the interim solution, if you still have it, is to get delete the product from the device list in Spotify.
Hmm.
So it was a 2-for-1. Spotify changed something and messed it up, and then.
Hmm.
But that is only for levels, and the weird thing is, right? Like I've heard this for levels, but I haven't heard about this for balances or 28s.
No,
So
no.
it's
But well, to be honest, our 28s are in a power link mode in the shop because it gotten tiring to try to pair them and the parity loss and whatever and they always work when nobody's there, but as soon as you get a client they fall the fuck apart and it's just like what's going on here. So we just PL and that's it, man. They're actually wireless power linked out of all that, and they work flawless. They sound the way they sound, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. They're not my favorite, to be honest with you. And I guess I'm poisoned by the '90s, so for me, no matter what, is really not my favorite anymore. It's hard, like
I like
uh,
28s a lot, and it's a very good intermediate uh, between 18s and 50s, and it's. I mean, a lot of people don't look at B&O and go like, yes, let's get some 50s. That'll be 50 grand well spent.
No, I understand that, but I don't know. For me, I just either I'm an old fanboy or whatever, but I'd
Well,
still
no,
go
you
with
have 90s. Like, come on, what's topping that? Next to nothing.
no. But if I were to decide, I would still probably go with the pair of 18s and a sub and a 19, which puts you on par with the same cost. But for me, I'm just not a biggest fan of the downward firing bass, and I like the 19 because it has a lot of bass, but it doesn't transfer that vibration into the floor. So, your neighbor piss off factor is slightly reduced, even though it's still a lot of bass.
Well, it's also
So,
way more linear. For
and that too.
I must say though, for people who, if you go into buying a 19, as in like this is a sub like any other sub, you're gonna get disappointment.
Yes.
Because it's not boomy, it's not ultra powerful. It's powerful enough, but it's so linear that it never becomes like ultra rumbling, like what you expect from maybe a BeoLab 2 or something like that.
That's right. It's way more accurate on the bass.
So if anything, it's more like making it a three-way speaker instead of it's like a musical sub instead of a movie sub, if that makes any sense.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's yeah. So if you like movies more, I would say 28s are a better purchase. Because it's a bit more like my Finnish friend actually did the room EQ sweeps, and you can literally see the bass belly of the 28s, and then they're flat, more or less.
Oh, okay.
And if you he did the same with a 19, and that's just flat, more or less. It's like that, but it's as good as flat. Like the peak between the highs and lows is like 1 dB or something like that. And fives even have a more bass belly than 50s. I mean, he has way too many speakers. I think I've shown it at his house once or twice.
Fudge.
Well, that's what you get when you're a Beo nut, right? Sometimes you go a bit over the top. And then you go, well, I guess I have another room somewhere.
That's right.
Maybe I need speakers in my attic for when I'm in my attic.
Fuck.
I mean, who knows if I want to use my guest bathroom every so often? I need a bathroom speaker there.
Oh yeah, you got to put a guest TV in TV in the guest room too.
I'm gonna do this nonsense. Pretty sure of it.
Oh yeah, because it's just like you rotate gear and stuff, and sometimes you trade, sometimes you do whatever, buy shit, and yeah.
Yeah, guest bathroom vibes.
Nice, that'd be fun. It'd be a big bathroom.
I mean, if you really go over the top, I guess I could put a screen in the bathroom somewhere.
Put it behind the mirror. I've seen those a lot. That's like a thing here.
Yeah.
You have a screen. Usually they put like an LED strip around it, and then you also have a TV behind it, and you can either pump it through the in-ceilings or listen to the shite sound from inside of itself. But then you kind of lose a little bit of the medicine cabinet. But then again, like you don't have the problem with room as far as the North American bathrooms are concerned.
No, they're
massive. A nice house, so you can clearly just put that in there without any worry and issues because you have all the drawer space down below and shit.
Just get a 48-inch LG C2 or C3 and put a stage underneath.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm going to keep on reporting as far as what's going on with this and how to fix the wing nonsense because that really does get on my nerves. It's really annoying. It's really annoying.
I mean, with regards to the bass, I don't feel it actually pulls back that much with 50s attached to it. There's still quite a lot of power coming out of it. I mean, with the new bass system, it still maximizes everything that's attached to it, including itself.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So, but then you can do the redirection, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah, I barely have that on. But it may well be that because you have more speakers that you don't turn it up as loud. So when you say it sort of becomes boomy and vibrate, at what sort of volume level are we talking about?
55. I can't go higher than that. I get texted.
So, but the rattle becomes audible.
Oh, oh yeah. I need to, like to the point where I'm just dealing with it now because I don't want to take the wings off to tighten them and then take them off again to put the tester tape on. So they're just gonna be like that till Thursday. But I gotta put up with it. I try to take the video of it, but my phone is not good enough for like picking out the bass and the vibration. And like if you play um, Prodigy Charlie from the Experience album, this is like we're going all the way back to like 1992, 3. That track, like I think it's minute 43 when it starts, and it's just nothing but this bass line that literally will make it the whole thing sing if it's not properly tightened up. And that's what I use to test it now, because it goes through a whole bunch of different frequencies all the way almost down to 20 hertz and back up to about 80, 90.
Interesting. Because
So
I mean, when the wall bracket would make a noise, that started at like volume 55-ish, and it was. I mean, for a lot of in my system anyway, that is for a lot for most people that's already quite loud, if not too loud for normal listening. But with the room sweeps, they go over. They go to like I don't know exactly how loud, but they go over whatever dB level 55 is. So every time you hear the whoop, it was like vroom,
yeah.
and that's totally gone. But I haven't heard that sound since I taped the wall bracket up.
So for me, it's the wings, and I think the lamellas over time they just vibrate themselves loose, especially in front of the bass drivers. Once that's where I could localize where the vibration's coming from. So once my walnut grill comes in, I'm gonna take them off one by one and fucking glue them.
For people that aren't reading the chat, BeoJohn says, I have a problem on my LG GX. Setup box Huawei Q22 is connected to a GX. Couple of days ago, it only gives me picture for 30 seconds, then picture goes black. Change channel and 30 seconds. The GUI works, so signal goes to the TV. So together with Theater's problem, makes me think LG has changed something, and a lot of other equipment now also has issues. Which, maybe it is very much LG. Who knows?
Well, that new update for me, like I said, it fixed the internet issue for maybe a day, but that's about it. Like if I fire this YouTube thing now, let's see if it's gonna go right directly into the YouTube screen or not. Oh yeah, I did too. Sweet. I'm watching some goofy Lego stuff. Okay, respect. It's definitely better than it used to be.
What update was that?
On the LG?
Yeah.
Hold on.
What's the update number? Because maybe I haven't gotten it then. Because in that case, I'm going to set on to turn the auto update off as well.
Hold on. Let's see if it... Yeah, now it dropped the network again.
Oh, my auto update is already off. So yes, maybe that's why.
You got saved.
I'm on 3.30.16. I don't know if that changes anything. Oh, I'm the same as Sandeep.
I'm at 3.30.45.
3.30. Oh, then you're on the newer update then.
I'm on the newer update. I got auto updates on and all that nonsense. I guess y'all can see it. Now you can see it. So yeah, I'm on the latest and the greatest here. But still, it Let's go to YouTube. My button, YouTube, and it just sits there, hovers, and see the network. It just does not connect to the bloody network for some irritating reason. I have to go here, click to my Wi-Fi, close it, and then it just fires back up.
That is so strange.
Like, it makes no sense whatsoever, and then it works no problem. And if I shut it off, it'll do the same thing, most likely. So.
Isaac.jpg, put your vote in the poll. If you're on beta for the level, has it been spotless? Do you have any issues? This is mostly because there's been a Mozart update and an LG update, and it's apparently very hard to figure out if some people have issues, others don't, and it's strange. And then Herr
Well, my
Vagabond.
neighbor had an issue for a while till we put it back.
Yeah, but he's on beta because then you get Tidal Connect. With the normal software, I don't think you get Tidal Connect.
No. Yeah, but I also like the G1 panel, the 3.34.70. Maybe that's a completely different variant of that software version than what we have for the G2s. Because I've seen that the software versions sometimes differ based on the panel species as well. Sergey is on 3.34.55 for a G1. 3.34.70.
Well, he's not Russian. He's Serge.
Serge. Sergey. Sergey. No problem on harmony so far.
Oh, hi, Sergey.
That's right. So yeah, I don't know what to say. I guess the different panels get affected differently. Just like there was a problem with the G2 versus C2 panels where the puck table overlay would always screw with. You couldn't navigate the screen menu because it would navigate the
LG
puck
menu. Yeah.
No, it would navigate the puck behind them, the LG screen menu. So you couldn't do anything. Yeah, you have to go to like a YouTube or anything panel native source. Then you could go to settings. I got.
Maybe this also, like, I don't understand how all this software between similar panels in use can be so different. Like, maybe this is quite literally an LG thing where they probably built it in modules and they misplaced some things.
I don't know.
I mean, we could be mad at B&O and it turns out it's an LG thing, right?
Well, no. For me, what doesn't make any sense. Why is this happening while I'm listening to the BNO radio or Deezer from the BeoLink or standalone? You know what I'm saying? Like when I was consuming anything from the TV, like YouTube, the fucking thing kept playing. The theater rebooted. It literally disconnected the arc, and the Ethernet cable has been disconnected on the TV popped up, and then the sound came out of the LG, which is quite good for spoken dialogue, I have to say. And then the theater comes back on, like nothing ever happened. Like it shows up to work, like hi. So that was a little weird.
Well, we know there was, when the first 2.5 version update was, they had to pull it because something went wrong with a lot of things. But again, that's what beta is for. But it seems like a lot of people got rolled into the new 2.5 version
prematurely, I think.
Even when they're not on beta as a regular update, and it's like, maybe it's a compounding thing. Maybe B&O messed something up. Very well could be. But it's also really strange when in the very early beginning, I had once or twice where the theater would shut off, but the screen would stay on. And then it would just come back, and like the speakers go down and they come back up again, and you go on as... But like what Sandeep is saying, that like now in 40 minutes his TV is shut off 3 times. Like, what's going on there? As in, like, fully off, everything off. Like, that's weird. And Max as well on
Max
a
is just
harmony, which is also like,
that can be an intermittent power fault because that makes no sense. Like everybody would have an intermittent power fault. I think it's just uh, it's something that either there's a process that either loops itself, or there's something that crashes the whatever service that is essential to run the bloody ASC or the Mozart platform, and it just brings it all down to the point where the theater goes, fuck, gotta reboot, and it
yeah.
just
No,
power
Max
cycles
isn't
itself.
saying it is intermittent power fault. It's like somebody does click off, click on.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. It's just like somebody just unplugged their thing and plugged it back in, and all of a sudden it just, it works.
Like that movie Amélie, where her father is watching the football downstairs, France in the World Cup final, and she listens, and the goal goes to click.
Oh, and he fucking throws the TV against throws the slipper against the TV and breaks it. I've seen that. That was funny. That's a good TikTok thing.
Maybe B&O with the phoning home thing is like, and it's getting. Oh, no, you're not. And
no. Oh, they have a microphone on. Let's listen to them. Oh, they're having a good time. Power cycle. Ah. So.
And they're going forward down the straight into the first corner and click.
But oddly enough, when it comes to which is actually that's a very good point that I had forgotten to bring up. Every time I was listening to Deezer, it was in Deezer flow. It didn't crash off of the playlist, only on Deezer flow. I narrowed it down to that. Like BNO radio, then a couple of times it did crash, but it would always I would always come from, let's say, Deezer to the BNO radio, and then the BNO radio would just give up a ghost like a few minutes later for no real reason. And then you see the theater reboots itself and goes back in, and it starts playback again, which was scary because if I'm not home and it does it, then why would it be started to play? Oh fuck!
Maybe
man.
you like Slipknot if you like the Prodigy.
Fudge. So.
Or Korn or something like that.
But yeah, like that's what the weird things are. That this isn't that like this never been happening since now. I was so excited about the update. Now I'm kind of like. I wonder if I'm gonna bite the bullet and just put it to non-beta for now.
Well, it doesn't seem to make a difference for Sandeep. I mean, for me, it's fine. Like, I'm totally unaffected. I mean, the worst I have, which I'm not sure is actually even BNO radio, but like, I mean, it's streaming, right? And we listen to a bunch of American music stations, and the worst thing we kind of really had is that it goes away for a second or two every 6 hours, and it could just be bad upload or like, I don't know, is there some network issue on the radio side?
I don't think so.
But it's too quick to be a reboot of anything because it's lit. And you continue.
You have that same issue?
No,
with
it's
the BNO
like
radio.
Yeah, but it's like a 2-second thing. It's literally that short.
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Once every 6 hours or so.
For me, it's a little more often than that. It also happens almost within 5 minutes after I started the BNO radio, and then it doesn't happen for a long time. So I'm not the only one that has that the silence pause problem in the BNO radio.
Well, the thing is, I listen less often to Dutch radio now, but if I turn that on, it doesn't happen. So to me, I put it down to like, oh, it's abroad. There may be an upload issue or something.
Like a buffering limitation of some sort.
Because it's 2 seconds. Like it goes static nothing and then it comes back. But nothing turns off, no lights on the theater come on.
It's a broadcast interruption, and really it's not network related as far as or theater related. Yeah, that happens to me as well. I wonder why. And it never did in the old apartment, like one that I lived below. None of that happened. And ever since I changed the networks, that kind of stuff is going on in this all the time. And it did it with the level when I had it here, and it does it with Emerge, and it does it with the theater as well. I haven't tried the M3 because I already put it in my girlfriend's house. I just haven't set it up yet. So
No, M3s are on auto update, and they're, as far as I can tell, totally unaffected. They just work. So it's a bit, I don't know, it's strange. It's this is definitely something. If you're listening, B&O, you guys need to figure out, because it is really annoying. And I'm not even the one that is affected, but I can only imagine, like Sandeep, having his TV switch off, because you're gonna be watching the Sunday Formula One race like today, or the football, or whatever.
Oh, dude, that's what feels bad. Like,
and it's just click off.
Right as they're going through the finish line.
Yeah.
Fun.
Well, my girlfriend did that yesterday. I was watching. We were on the go to my sister, and I was watching the qualifying thing for Formula One, right? And it was like 3 minutes to go, and she tries to grab something in the car, but my phone is in the cubby, so she just swipes 4 fingers and turns it all off. Like, no. Shit happens. It's all right. I managed to catch the literal last minute, so it's like, okay.
I'll let you live. I want to make another cup of coffee. That's funny shit.
Yes, but at least that is sort of not as disastrous as just because the startup isn't instant these days anymore.
What?
On any TV, really. I mean, it's pretty quick, but it's not. Especially if you're watching cable, and it depends on how you watch. Yeah, how you watch it, I guess. How instant startup is. I mean, especially from a cold start, if you watch, I don't know, through an app or something, you can very much easily fall into loading times, which is sometimes quick, sometimes not so much, because we use the TV quite often and we rarely see the YouTube logo, but when it's like properly called and you press let's go watch YouTube, you get the YouTube logo and the loading bar thing. And I almost never see that. And then it has to load sources and that nonsense.
Yeah, I get to see the logo bar all the time from YouTube. And then I see my menu. You saw how it starts up. It's rather sad, but I pin it all on LG, because if I turn on the B&O radio when I get home from work on my button, whatever, and the thing fires up, it's instantaneous. It's like it's been always playing. I just unmuted it. That's how fast it happens.
Yeah.
Which I really like about the Mozart platform compared to like the ASC and, let's go back to Masterlink with the Beosound 5, because that was the first streaming radio platform that money could buy. Other than if you went full retard like I did and went like with the BeoLink PC, and then you have your Beo player and all that nonsense going on, and it worked well, man. But you got to give them that. Like, this was 2002, 2001 when they came out with the BeoLink PC, and it was a great idea, because then the spawn of Beosound 2 old school SD card player came along, which was to this day I love this thing.
If you want to see some old school stuff, by the way, somebody, is it in the photo gallery? I think. Oh, it's Mark. He bought a BeoMedia 1 from somebody on eBay, and it turns out this person worked for B&O, and they didn't wipe it, so there's a bunch of old B&O photos on there.
Oh, nice. That's funny.
As in I'll bring it up. This sort of stuff.
Oh, nice.
This is an actual launch event.
That's got to be a launch of a Beosound 9000 with something. Like Lab 20s or Lab 9s. That looks like Lab 9s.
Wrong.
5. Oh, wow.
mean,
That's
in
when the
the
fives came out. It must be. That's
yeah,
sick.
and those are even the B&O dresses the girls wore.
Yeah. They're in the museum too.
And he went through the list to anonymize a bunch of people, I think. But there is a link to a more online thing around. And you can look at launch events from back in the day. Because this is what, 2001, 2002,
Three,
something.
2003 when the fives came out. If that's the launch of fives, then it's 2005 because obviously the 9000's been around since '96. Oh, that's hot. God damn it, hell. Ooh, that's a good coffee, actually.
But yeah, very sweet find.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what you would do with a Biomedia one at the moment, but I guess you can find gems like this in there.
I do have one if anybody wants it. I do have a BioMedia one with the working power supply. And I do have a BioMaster 5 as well. 100% working in mint condition also. The paint is in mint condition, more or less. I don't know why I have those. The problem with that, the BioMaster 5, like at this point now, I would try to hack it and put like a cool, maybe a nice gaming computer in it, or not even a gaming computer, but like making a nice media server, right? Because it's still a presentable box, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could care less about the ML connection. Just do it in a way that you can just set it up like put a Raspberry Pi in it or some, and just put a couple big hard drives in it, right? So you have like a media music server that says B&O on it. So
Yeah.
I also have. It's funny how the BioCenter 9000, the aluminum was so much yellower back in the days compared to like what it is now with the theater, the wings. Like it's a crazy mirror image of it.
Are you sure it's not all smoked the hell through? And
No, this thing never saw a cigarette butt in its life. I just need to clean the glass because the freaking saran wrap that I
maybe
had
back
on
in
it.
the day they were just smoking next to the anodizing tank. We're anodizing here.
Oh fuck! There's some ashes in it.
Yeah.
No, no,
For that B&O scent. It's
this
like,
one is mint condition. Old BioCenter 9000, and I think well no, I got both of them refurbed, glass reglued and all that shit. Just don't have any tapes. Who's got tapes now? I guess, but
what kind of tapes?
like audio tapes to play.
Oh, okay.
You probably buy those on eBay now and record your shit on it. And
I
be
mean,
old
I
school.
have some storage tape somewhere, as in like the data stuff. Like it's a small square tape thing like that.
Yeah,
Like you put like 300 gigs or something on it.
we used to have it. Our office used to be backed up on that stuff. That was a lot of laughs back in the day when you had to tape backups. It was terrible.
Well, it's the only thing that's pretty permanent.
19% is beta, or 20%. 28% is just beta software. Wow, I'm actually surprised. It's way
Yeah.
more than that's more than a quarter of the people that own the theaters.
But also, people have had it on the older software that are not on beta, which is kind of surprising. And then there's a lot of people on beta that don't have any issues. So I wonder what the deal is. I mean, granted, this poll is for Mozart only. And all Mozart, so it could be a theater, could be a balance. Well, there's not that much Mozart anyway.
I wonder if it's just a different batch issues of the modules that are not
Could
compatible with the
be.
current
This is the
firmware
thing I
script.
always suspected was wrong with my initial 50s. That it was just like some cells of RAM were shit or something.
Yeah, I don't
I
understand
mean,
what
they
the
never
what the
really
cause of
told
this
me in
is.
the end, but
No, it's something sad that also I'll never know once those 90s get picked up, that we had to repair and we couldn't. Like it's somewhere in the wiring that more or less is an issue, and whatever. I'll never know. I
Who
don't
knows
think.
if there's a resistor in there somewhere that's just burnt out, or
Oh, we replaced every single board in that place.
no,
In
but
that
in the wiring, like you can put in an inline resistor in wiring, surely somewhere.
could be something like that.
So, or one of the PWM channels is just severed for whatever reason.
It could be too. But yeah, it's just man. I've never seen a Lab 90 like basically built and rebuilt the way that we did it. Like you know what I'm saying? Because we went basically like board for board.
Yeah, but
So
this is probably why it's warranty, because it's so weird. It's
it's
not
so complex too.
it's not
Fudge.
general wear and tear, or I don't know, like even your example of a spider walks into the board and goes power supply and arc.
You know, like that's something that should have been I guess accounted for a little bit, but you know, what are the odds of that? I've seen a lot of spiders in penta drivers. I mean, in penta drivers, in penta amplifiers over the years
It
that
happens.
I've seen one link eye that was by the lake residence, but whoever installed it was just complete shit show because they didn't put it in a all weather box or nothing. It was just fucking passive kit was under the deck on the exposed out in the air. Worked for 15 years, and then one winter it got loaded with ants because it's warm, right? Uh, they finished it,
Well,
and
it's making an and chain of like power to neutral.
they just killed it complete. So yeah. That was weird when I opened it. It's just like whole freaking like the colony of ants fell out of it dead. I'm like, fuck. Like, okay, well, I guess that also finishes electronics because I'd never thought of that before.
No.
But yeah, we had cameras fill up with ants before. That was weird because in a time lapse you just see the lens. That's it. Looks like coffee grinds.
I mean, passive kits are really strong, though. I will remind people.
Oh, those were very toughly made and built, man. Those were very toughly made. Those are, oh yeah, that's a passive kit underneath. Just freaking hold a 90 up shit.
Yeah, and it has no problem. It came from under there without any dents or scratches or anything.
Oh, of course, man. Like the heatsink on that thing is ridiculous. And plus the whole substrate on it. Like this thing is built that, you know, a bomb can go off next door to your neighbor and your passive kits and the house is in ruins, but the in ceiling speakers will still play. You know what I mean? In the rubble. So, oh, I miss the 90s. God damn it to hell, bro. Why are you showing me all this shit?
Yeah, I still want a pair,
Mm,
but yeah, one can dream.
they went up again.
Yeah, almost everything went up again except for 50s, and
So,
I think the 50s didn't go up partially because of the attainability, most likely. Like 90s are already so far up there that if you can afford them, like a $5,000 more doesn't matter.
yeah.
But which is annoying to say, and I hate it for saying it. But for 50s, it's probably more like that actually starts to matter, or you just get 28s or
Hmm.
3 pairs of 28s at that point.
Yeah, 28s are $20,250 right now in they're basic,
In
I think.
Canada,
Yeah, in Canadian dollars.
or
Light oak, it's
Canada.
22. It's 22,250. Or yeah, or if you just go cheese balls, grape, melange all over, that's 20. It's to 20,000.
Yeah, you guys are still getting wrecked with your currency as well.
Hmm.
I mean, what is it now? CAD, USD to CAD. 1.36. It's like, God.
Mm-hmm. It's not good, isn't it?
No.
But that's just the cards we're dealt with, bro.
Well, it probably was worse like a year ago or something.
Shit, I remember it was like $1.50. Like, it was good for US to come in. But I remember when it was $1 on par. That was cool. When B&O prices were the same across the border. It was great.
Yeah. Well, also since there's free trade, it probably keeps a lot of customers in the country, right?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, but
actually
a
means
lot
you
of
kind
people
of have a
here,
chance of selling it.
a lot of people here sometimes buy the B&O here and then bring it to Miami, uh, for I don't know whatever reason, or they move their old B&O gear to the Miami homes and then buy new shit here or buy it there. So yeah, it's interesting, but
Yeah, but
hopefully soon I'll be packing the little bit that I got going on here, and I'm actually debating, should I sell the theater before I leave and just buy another one there, because it's definitely going to be less headache. You
why
know what I
not?
mean?
By the way, if you're in the US, there is a deal going on 18s and the 19. You get 25% off in a combo deal.
That's a good deal.
Well, also the 18s are ridiculously expensive in the US for some reason.
Yeah, they're 15 grand here now, Canadian,
I
plus
mean,
tax.
The 28s in the US are like, compared to here, $800 more, which is like, give or take import. It's not that bad, right? But the
Mhm.
18s are like $3,000 more than here. They're
In
like,
US?
yeah, they're like 12,000 USD or something like that. And they're 8,500 euro here. So that's what, $9,000, including 21% sales tax. So it's like, why are they so expensive in the US? I don't get it. So the deal, if you're in the US, it's a nice deal, but they're
Hmm.
still expensive.
Too bad that the rendering doesn't show you from the bottom of the TV, because that's what I was interested in, to show where those wings connect. But I think I'll take some. I have to take some pictures anyways and upload them to Denmark.
Bloody hell, the regular 28s are 17 grand now in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what did the 90s go up to? 120,000 USD starting at.
Fudge. Well, let me change the country here.
Wow.
USA. What are you at, speakers?
Yeah, in the US.
Speaker sets. Yeah, it's they're not cheap, man. Everything's going up a little bit. From 120K US, fudge. That's a lot of money for the 90s. But is it really, compared to what, like, if I watch what people have in the houses that they paid way more money for, and it sounds nowhere near as good as the 90s. You know, good for you. Spend 300 grand on that.
If I'm somehow not becoming a dealer, the only way I could ever buy them, even close to new, is go to Europe and just ship them over. Because fuck me, I'm not paying US prices.
You should just buy them in Europe now and ship them over, because then you could, right? You won't have to pay duties on it if it goes all with your equipment.
No, I do. Because
Why? Because it's less than 6 months?
yeah.
No.
No, they're smart like that, because people used to buy very exclusive cars, right? and just like your one of 100 Ferrari all of a sudden came into the US tax free.
Hi.
And then you sell it for like 200 grand more the following week.
Fuck. They figured it out, eh? Too bad.
Yeah, so they smartened up a little bit since then.
That's funny. But yeah.
I mean, also the other way around, people used to do that, especially expats that lived in the US, because car prices are so cheap there.
Hmm.
people would just all of a sudden say, "Oh, I have 3 cars." They would take all 3 with, obviously.
And sell them in Europe.
Yeah, because a Golf GTI is something like 32 grand in the US, fully
Hmm.
loaded. Well, here it's like 70.
Yeah, we were looking at that back in the yesterdays when I was working with Audi. Like a fully loaded A8L was $137,000, and that included having the fridge in the back seat, right in the
Yeah.
middle.
Oh, that's like
And
300 and
it
something odd
was three
dollar
hundred and
euro.
twenty. It was 320,000 euro in in was it the UK or a German website that we did it on? No, Slovakia. We did it in Slovakia, and it was insane money. Oh, holy cow! You can have freaking two and a half of those for the price.
Yeah, it's yeah, taxes, man, taxes.
Hmm. We got the marble Beosound balance in the shop now. It looks stunning, actually. It's the first time I've seen it. It looks really nice, and it's not
In Canadian,
heavy
it's 4
either.
grand or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's the most expensive one, I
Do
think.
you think it's worth the money?
It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. I really like it. I personally don't have that gold, thing for it. Like if it was done with the silver, it would be nicer in my eyes. But it is beautiful. So
Uh, hmm. Okay.
I swapped the woofer driver on the level. We had one
Wait,
that
what
was.
happened to it?
It just had a weird noise to it, so I swapped it, and it was ordered one and swapped it. I got a completely different set of respect for the level, bro. After taking it apart,
Which is
like
basically a
holy
laptop.
fuck, how that thing is built tight, man. It's built very tightly. But it's always kudos to the engineering. I haven't opened the emerge yet. There's no reason for it, but I've seen the videos on it. I'm like, wow, that's they really do go out like really out of their way for engineering all this stuff, especially the heat management at this point of time. They're finally learning.
Well, when it's so small,
Yeah,
pushes out even. I don't fully hate the emerge, but it's like I hate that it falls on its ass so quick.
you know what? For the bathroom, it's perfect for me, bro.
Yeah, but
It's
it's
just
compared to what they had literally a year and a half before it, like an M3, it makes no goddamn sense.
but M3 is much bigger in volume.
It was shorter,
Yeah, but it's much bigger in volume.
but
That's the
it was a
difference.
third the price.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
Can you configure the theater as a sub only when paired with 18s? I haven't played with it, Stefan, but I
invite him
played with it
for a smoke or
once.
something for a cigar.
Yeah, I think the last time I played with it, the levels were all out to lunch, so it needs to be played with a little bit as far as because you need to do that in manual mode. Like you can actually do it with your by yourself because you won't utilize the microphone. You just need to measure how far the speakers are or copy the measurements from the tuning, and then just with an app you can play around with the decibel levels in the room, and then. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to play with it. I was more focused on getting the vibration out from the theater we got because it's just starting to get a little bit annoying. And also, yeah, we need to get the G2 panel on ours in the shop as well. It's a much nicer look to it.
Yeah, I'm still happy with my wall mounting, and somehow for the first time ever, I'm happy I was cheap. Because I have none of the issues. Software off, nonsense. It when it works, don't update it. It's fine. Leave it be.
Yeah, I did her in for sure. But yeah. Uh, Also, I'm I guess 25 days closer to getting my freaking walnut grill for this thing. because it say that delivery date is March 30. But I'm hoping they can make it faster.
What's taking so long?
Dude, you know how hard it is to make a tree into a small stick like that? And they have to do it 74 times.
Maybe they should call a toothpick company.
Make them bigger. Yeah, make a T-Rex toothpicks for us, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think these should be glued. That's my 2 cents. Whoever's putting them on, just have a dab of glue in them now. Yeah, it seems like the trees grow backwards in Denmark, Stefan, because it's definitely a proper labor pain by B&O as far as getting the freaking walnut grill for custom. So
Yeah. I'm just looking up at 90s, right? And
mm,
90s in the US compared to here are like $3,000 more, and that's even if you disregard that in our prices 21% sales tax is built in.
ooh.
So I don't understand why they're this expensive in the US. So let's see what the actual.
That's we get hosed in here, man. We get definitely hosed in here. Like sometimes I think it's also almost cheaper to buy gear in Europe, bring it here and pay the duties on it. And that's
Yeah,
it.
so if import duty is 10-ish%, I think it's around between 10 and 13, depending if it's Canada or you'd be buying them for at least 10 grand less USD. Because excluding sales tax, they're 91 grand here, 90s. Yeah, well, one would hope that next time the currency, if it slides, the margin is built in, but I have a feeling they'll just hope nobody notices that it's already built in and it's just going to continue to line upwards.
Yeah. Here, let me share a screen.
Yeah.
It should come up in a second there. Because I'm quite intrigued by this.
Properties. Hold on. Oh, I did the wrong thing.
Do the right thing. Do the right thing.
Yeah. Shared screen. There we go. Yeah. We're here.
I don't see it. Okay, there we go. So let's go to my music preset and I'll just duplicate this thing. Music copy. Let's do speakers. That's gonna be now front right. And we're gonna go with the left front on this guy. And then here we got Beosound Theater. So let's assign it as a left subwoofer front. And then, oops, that's not the one I want. Right front firing, left front firing, where are you? Left front firing. Okay, so he's already subwoofer left, run front. Okay, there we go. So let's check this one to a subwoofer right. Should actually let's go back to where's the subwoofer? Pum, 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 pum.
Boom, boom.
Oh, this is the noise. It doesn't have the. Oh, there's a. Okay.
Oh, that's the other one. The other
Mhm.
the play sound is probably white noise now.
So that's Stefan, if you're still watching, this is exactly what you would do to set this up. And then you just have to play with your dB levels and whatnot. I suggest playing on it on an iPad and then having your phone with the app for the noise levels. And there you go. Uh, so these are all seaside firing, blah blah. They're not included. Left front firing. Tabarnak. I fucked it up. I shouldn't have. Let's say we make a copy. So if we go back and delete this.
You're becoming more French by the week.
Let's go back to duplicate this. And yeah, I messed it up because is this I'm in a copy? Yes, I'm in a copy. Yeah, I messed it up because once you select the speaker by accident, left front firing should be subwoofer left, boom. Right front, left front. I wonder if I can get some what is it? Bullshit free music. Right front firing, left front. So right front firing. Let's go to the sub. And maybe what I'll do is I'll put for the center front firing, I also will assign it as a subwoofer center just for the goof. So then all the front on the theater is now just a subwoofer. Let's keep it music copy. That's it.
And that's how you play with it. But that doesn't mean it sounds good right off the bat.
So did it save it or no? Yeah, there it is. So this is just the preset. And now we can play some music, but I'm not going to do that because we're going to get copy stricken. Actually, screw it. I can do that. I'll just mute the mic. And I want to see if it does work.
Play some Rage Against the Machine or something.
Okay.
We know it works well when you see him go. This is a lot of dead air, but it seems like you can just play with it. Again, the app is still a bit weird in how to find things and where stuff is. He's gonna twerk. He's gonna twerk.
It's working. So yeah, you can do it like that. But obviously,
how would
don't
you say in
use your
terms
rear.
of? Does it sound finished or is it sort of
No,
like?
you need to play with it. I can't play with it now, but also my speakers are freaking out to lunch. Like if I were to have them at the front, it would have been a different experience, right? Because it's a proper sub. So yeah, I would suggest to do that. It's not that hard to do, and like I said, you just go in here afterwards and fuck with the levels. Also, the distances would help a lot. But if you copy something that we've already set up, then you just need to set. And quite honestly, to play with the dB levels, I don't think you even need a meter. Just play something that sounds nice. And once you have the balance of both speakers being loud enough that the subwoofer doesn't drown it in the center, you're done. You're finished. The microphone only works, in my opinion, to a certain extent as far as the what it helps to do. But a lot of that mess about and fun is with your own, and then if you really want to make it sound sweeter or whatever, then you can move this circle about and what I started playing with also is a surround stage width and stage height. Stage width is really nice. That's big stuff. Makes the stereo super wide. It's super cool. And for the height, if you you can literally adjust the elevation of where you perceive. This is, well, you have to have the theater working as a center channel and
Mm.
all the speakers going, but it will adjust your perceived elevation of where the vocals are on the screen. So that's what that does. And surround also, it's more or less how much envelopment it goes. Further up you go up the scale, then the more further behind it sounds for you. Or if you go all the way down, then it just brings it down to very flat in my ears.
Yeah, and what was it? There was also you can sort of virtually like widen it behind you and make it come back to a point and that sort of stuff. And
That would be the envelopment, and I kind of played with it a little bit, but I do like it in the middle. The stage width is the only one. It looks like a freaking middle finger over here, but this is one of my very my favorite presets for the sound in music. It's a little different, I believe, in the movie, where I left it all default because I haven't really played with it much. I haven't really listened to many movies, but to me, I would go with the frequency tilt more or less like this, because it does get really heavy on the bass, and now my wings are singing with it. So uh, that's something that I'm gonna play with later on, because like I said, I play with music because I listen to music more. That
don't you
matters to me
also
more
watch
sonically
most
than
of your
movies.
movies on your headphones now?
No, no, not now that I gave her the level to play with. I fuck that, man. I'm listening to my theater, bro. So, but yeah, that's how, that's how not scary it is. But just, you have to always remember to make a copy of a setting or a preset that you had done before, because if you change it, and like if I were to change it here, I would have literally screwed up my entire music preset. I would have to retune and rerun the microphone
It's
to in
not
order to
too
get that
hard
back.
to do,
No,
really.
no, but like for me, I just don't like to remove the grill all the time and shit,
Yeah,
because you flex in that little wood pieces, and then they eventually start rattling, because everything gets loose over time.
that's what she
And I
says.
also right, and I also think that I don't think it's as humid as in Denmark here, and I don't think that that's good for the wood, because if it shrinks a little more, then it starts to become rattle in its own, because plastic doesn't give, right? Only the
No.
wood is the natural thing on it. So that's something that I also would suspect, and that's why that rattling is starting to become more and more
This is why I
apparent,
need to
especially
move to Florida sooner because it's more humid. So your wood grows.
swell up my wood. So, but yeah, that's it's pretty freaking simple to get yourself a new preset set up. For some reason on BlueStacks it doesn't show my presets for the favorites for some reason.
Not that surprising since it's somewhat of a hacky way to do it all. It's
Yeah,
never.
but see, they all are. So like, if you go to YouTube, I don't know if anybody's played with this yet, but you have all these options, and Atmosphere is something pretty cool where you can put the TV mode to whatever music mode you want. For the lucky ones that have a stand, you can do the listening position, and it moves the stand also. If not, then it just moves it to the tuning that you had. And you can have default volumes, and some of the stuff I actually start lower volume than anything else. And then yeah, you can do that to all of your favorites. App is pretty good, but I still don't like the cumbersomeness of, like, if you go here and you do your thing, and then you go back down, and sometimes it doesn't go back down to the screen, it goes to something else, and it's a little bit of a pain in the penis. But other than that, it's pretty solid for how it works.
Oh, the functionality is fine. It's just stuff is in weird places.
Yes. So,
Like
but other than
most of
that,
it works.
it's not
That's
bad.
not the issue. It's just like where to find it. Like you need a bloody manual on where to find things because it's not that logical.
Yeah. All right, I can stop sharing. I think we enough lessons for the day. So, but yeah, that's the beauty of the app, and like, if you sit around with a glass of wine and some good music, you can create a preset that actually sounds better than any technician can really set it, because now it's your music, your time, your preference. It's something that, no matter how much and how hard I try to do it for people, I can only set it as well is I know my reference music, right? But if you listen to something completely different, uh, then it's a little
Maybe
different.
this, if you put on a like an ultra extreme tinfoil hat, right?
Mhm.
Do you think the microphone was actually more designed not so much for the end user but for the installers? Because so many installers just connected stuff and sort of left it as is, and
I honestly, I don't know if that was the purpose of it. Obviously, I don't think so. I don't think that like being so malicious, like fuck. But I do agree that in my field, a lot that I have seen is that the theaters are set up in a very poor way. Like there's people do the dB levels based on like what they think that they can. You can't fucking tell the difference between half or a 1 dB off on a pink noise in the theater between two speakers, or to read it that accurately as a machine can do with the microphone.
yeah, but I mean the amount of emails and stuff over the years I've gotten from BV11s, harmonies, eclipses, where people said, "Oh, my parents bought a harmony and they have four threes." And it
Mm-hmm.
sounds a bit weird. Like, what would you expect? Especially on that video I did on how to set up your harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they go into the menu and the distance is set all to 0 because
No, fuck.
distance
That's the
doesn't
problem to
matter.
begin with.
And then volumes or the differential volumes to everything doesn't
Mm.
matter because this is how like the technician or dealer or whomever set it up, and they just leave it as is.
Yeah, no, I never do that. I always go in and revisit it, even after like the tuning with the microphone. After obviously living with it and playing with it extensively because I can. Uh, yes, the microphone is a good tool, but I do not think it's 100%. Like it gives you 100% of what the theater can actually possibly do out of the box.
Yeah.
Like there's still an input required by either a technician or you as yourself. Once you, let's say, you know as a tech, you can pre-measure all the rooms and take the so you don't have to sweat about I don't want to take the fucking grill off and risk breaking it, right? So you just do that and you just, okay, I want the measurements of the position, let's say by the table here, in the kitchen there, on my sofa here's a sweet spot, maybe by my favorite chair where I read the book and whatever, right? And then you just set up all those speakers. And once you have those measurement values set, then it's easy to do what I just did: copy your freaking preset, and then just modify the certain dB levels or speaker reassignments or anything else. As long as those speakers are assigned within that speaker listening preset or listening position, then you shouldn't have an issue.
Yeah.
So
Because the app in many ways is quite similar to the harmony, so this video still
yeah,
applies. It's just slightly different locations in the app, and I found it way easier to do on the in-app experience on the TV than in your phone.
I'm somewhat so used to the app now because I've done nothing but more or less theaters in the last while, that when it comes to, like, I still appreciate the harmony and whatnot, or even the older panels. But it's funny how much I didn't. I think it's worse ironic because I was not happy with it at the beginning. Like when the theater came out, it's only app controlled and blah blah blah. But I find it's less cumbersome, other than the layout sometimes and the way that you go back and forth and such between certain screens and certain screen settings or certain pages of settings. It's a little convoluted, but when it comes to do you know a more or less like a playful modifications and adjustments, it's much easier and less scary to a client to do it in an app than in the TV. And I think the only thing that the Harmony and Eclipse generations lack, which could be probably done by the software update, is the ability to copy speaker groups. The
Yes,
only
that is
way that you
actually
can,
really annoying because
the
it's
only, I
if you
think
make a
the only
new
way
one,
you
it
can do
saves the
that.
last one you make, and if the standard one is
That's right.
surround sound, you have to turn everything off manually again.
Yes, yes, that's the only, I guess, nice and bad thing about it. So So but that's it. That's the only thing that those TVs lack, in my opinion, when it comes to the sound profiling and or making new speaker groups within the Harmony environment itself, or the older platform, I guess.
Yeah, the whole DB level thing is still the same, more or less.
DB
Except
level game is real, man. It's you gotta set your DB levels and distances, because then the shit don't sound right. It
it
just
makes
don't.
such a massive difference.
Yes.
And the amount of people that didn't believe that until they tried. I mean, you need nothing fancy for it. You just need a DB app and make sure that you're quiet and
Pretty
just
much.
play the pink noise or the white noise or whatever you call it. The
Yeah. And you're fine. Like it just
I
takes
find it a horrible noise, but it's so P&O to me. The
the pink noise.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
because it's slightly different per channel as well.
No. It's only different if you have larger speakers. They sound deeper. That's it. But it's maybe more or less the same.
Well, on the BP10, it was definitely different between left front and right front.
Oh yeah, that's right. They changed the pitch just a little bit.
So you could tell
That's
where it
right.
was coming from, I think.
No, I have not put a theater with the 18s and a 19 sub yet.
I have.
Oh no, we did. We did actually. Sorry, we did that
I have.
because they did move the.
My 19 is right there.
It definitely makes a difference.
Yes.
It definitely makes a difference.
It rounds it out. It gives it a bit. It gives it even more low end. It makes it a bit smoother because the 19 is very smooth. Is it worth the investment?
If you had a theater and 418s, would you put a sub with it?
Probably.
There you
If you can spare the money, yes. Like if you care a lot for bass and you can't annoy your neighbors too quickly, yes.
There's your answer, Stefan. See you in the store on Tuesday. And I didn't say it.
Me, no, I'd probably put it in the back or on the side somewhere, not under or next to the theater, if possible.
Oh yeah, no, it would go to do like, and I'm not even corner, but I would still try to keep it, I guess, within between the speakers.
Yeah, but then I would say put it in between the rear 18s, right, somewhere around there, because the theater can do a lot of the bass on the front, and the 19 will backfill that if needed. But then you also have similar bass from the rear, so you have a more harmonized sound.
I played with that with the Lab 11 on my theater, and it does make a difference actually when you put the Lab 11, like when I put it where the table is here and the theater was on where now the picture is. It was it definitely made a big difference in
Well,
sound.
it like we said in the beginning, it maximizes every speaker attached to it. It's kind of I haven't played with it in a while, but the 19 does need a bit of finessing, and to my ears, it's okay for music, but the microphone has a tendency to really lower the 19 to where most of the effect is so subtle that if you don't bump it up a little bit, you kind of are wondering to yourself, like, why did I buy this?
Also double check the distance, because I had found that with my Lab 11, it was always double the distance, exactly times 2 of what the actual distance was when I laser gauged it from the tip of the microphone to the speaker itself. So it was 2.1 meters, but I always had a result of 4.2, no matter where I've put it. And
yeah, that's weird. I think that may have been a bug, though.
Well, that was a few software versions ago as well, right? This was in December, so it's a few months back. I don't have a Lab 11. I don't pull one in the front freaking storage because I have one in storage locker now still.
think I can retune it, but I'll see if it's. But when I did it, the 19 was automatically set to minus 10 dB, which is like you can
Mine
still.
was pretty. It
You
was choked down significantly also on mine when I tuned it.
But you could still hear there was something different, but it was so subtle and so smooth. And if you went to somewhere between -7 and -5, it's like, oh, that's actually kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's good now because it for just bass it hangs with the theater easily, so it probably needs to be a bit softer. But if
I just find it funny that you have fucking Lab 11, I mean Lab 19 in the back with the 50s at the front. You never go full retard.
yes, you do.
Oh man, that's funny. Like that's not even a full retard yet. Like you'd have to have 250s in the back with the sub in front and back. Just go all the way nuts. I'd put the subs by the sofa.
If the 90s are fully out of the question, I'll potentially think about doing 250s rear, and then I'll sell the 19 or put it in a different room or something.
Oh, you're gonna put it in a different room.
Because then the 18s are also kind of pointless.
Put it by the pool.
No, I was actually thinking of getting a stage for that.
That'd be fun. Yeah, you'd have to retune, bro, for sure. But that's something that, it can be done within an hour, not even 15, 20 minutes, I guess.
Yeah, have a drink, have a cigar. It's quite quick.
It's fuck all.
Just make sure you do it when it's quiet.
Yeah, I think his neighbors would have a problem with the quiet now. More than he would.
No, but I mean, I don't know, when there's no heavy traffic around wherever you live, or I don't know, maybe there's like
air
trucks,
conditioning,
lorries,
actually,
vans, air, AC, that sort of thing humming in the background.
AC does affect the readings. I had found it does stop it. I've had a couple instances where AC was on and we had to wait. Especially like those in-room filters and whatever, or purifiers. I'm like, no, you need to shut that shit down, bro.
Also, if it's an older one, just those big ass fans in the ACs or the HVACs.
Loud. They're
just
loud.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Yeah. Oh, and that bass frequency just screws up the readings completely. So yeah, you have to shut it all down, whatever you can, at least.
It's not necessarily fully audible to most human ears, even.
You know what I found back in the day when I was tuning my 90s? Because I was doing multiple filters, essentially. Like I would scan the room, center line, center, front, and back of the room.
Yeah.
And then I would do the left side the same and right side the same. So if I were to go to wide mode, I would take all three readings to build one filter out of them.
Yeah.
And for narrow, I would only use one, which would be done in that correct spot. But I would usually do it around like 11:30, almost midnight. Yeah. I found it was the most quietest time, and you can just have it. Like that was the most accurate, because I've done it during the day and like, and then I've done it during night, and not that it was a significant difference or it was placebo, but it was the imaging was way more accurate in a way.
Yeah, if it's too ridiculously loud, the app will tell you that it's too loud.
Yes, I've had that also happen a couple of times with air conditioning kicking. Like, no, fuck. My dishwasher runs in. I'm like, oh no.
I've had that here where it was really quiet. It's except for that the compressor on the
fridge
started, but it was nigh on inaudible to me. But the microphone picked it up all the same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I heard it starting, so I'm not deaf or something, but it was at this sort of level, and it still went like, no, it's too loud. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, it's funny, but you know what? Like, I guess you want that accuracy level, in my opinion, if you're getting that kind of a caliber of an audio system or a speaker.
But it's almost the perfect time to do it, because you're not at the moment right now where you need AC like all day long, right? Like
that's right.
Where you start roasting when you don't have it on for an hour.
Exactly, and 90s do take a while to tune. Depends on how much care and give a shit you put into it. especially for the wide and omni modes. If it's possible to run them, then you have to tune in number of places, and that speaker does sound excellent when
If
you
you
do
do it
more.
really quick per filter, it's 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Because it's 3 minutes of whoop for both speakers, and then you have to replace it. So then you have to be like, what? And do it again. So, and you do 3 sweeps per thing.
well, it
So
does
that's
4 sweeps because it does every bass driver, so it does 4 bass sweeps
yeah,
and
but
five
it's
top head sweeps. So that's 9 sweeps per speaker.
sure, but that's 3 minutes per sweep, and you do 3 sweeps for 2 speakers, so that's 9
Yeah,
minutes of just whooping.
pretty much.
And my cats hate it because I need to lock them up for that, because otherwise they're interested and they start walking around and go meow. Like
No,
you hear
God,
whoop
no.
and they go meow.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to see how the theater does it compared to the 90s, I guess, but it does definitely uh so once you've been presets in the VL90 theater and you had them in audio preset 1 room sense crashes, have to put them in preset 2 for room sense. Interesting. So you can have them on narrow mode, more or less, or factory narrow mode if that's your. Because I honestly I kept the factory narrow and factory wide, and then I did my presets 3 and 4 were see Stefan were my narrow tuned and narrow wide. I mean narrow tuned and wide tuned, and then I did the omni mode. So
Well, it's
or I
no
had the
problem
omni
for
mode as 3. I
me.
didn't.
So
That's interesting that it does that. So there's another one for them. Too bad I don't have my 90s to play with, but I'm dying for that. That'd be
I
fun.
mine only gave me the option after all the sweeping, and it's swept in preset 0, which is nothing.
That is weird.
Yeah. So I then manually put them to 1 for the narrow version and 2 for the wide version, and re-swept them, and it's fine.
But you also don't have the software up to date.
I know the 90s have their own internal presets. It's the same for the 50s. They're not different in any way in that sense.
Other than the omni mode, that's it.
Yeah.
Narrow wide is there, but the omni doesn't
Yeah, but
exist for the
the
50s.
numbering system is the same. It does the same. It's weird. But like I said, mine started. The theater decided it was 0, and then you manually put it to 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever you wanted it to be, and then I reswept them, and that went fine. It's annoying you had to resweep it, but
yeah, that's interesting that it crashes on the preset 1. Wonder
too
if they would
much
do
power.
it with the 50s.
It blows out the mic.
I wonder if they would do that with the 50s, but we don't have the 50s attached to the theater at this point in the shop. It's just
You can
system of
wireless
harmony.
power link it. Just for shits and giggles. You don't have to pull a cable.
No, I don't have to pull a cable.
Make the triangle with 50s in the rear.
Fuck, be sweet. I do want to hear the 50s with the theater, because that's something that would definitely sound good. It would definitely sound good.
Yeah, it's scary. They have even more bass, especially in movies. And it's I toned it down a bit and changed presets a bit, and it's like, ugh. Because,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, so you can't leave that out of the box. You still have to go in and tune stuff for.
You could if you're not attached to anybody or anything. But I was shaking off the couch, right? And it's like, ooh, this is impressive. And then it's like, ooh, my neighbors are hearing this.
Yeah, that's basically like, that's my world.
I mean, this is the reason I actually had to redo that a bit manually is because of neighbors, not because it didn't sound good. It sounded incredibly impressive, magnificent, even in the bass department, and to the point where, like, what's the point of going to 90s in a room this size? Because, like, there's so much bass. It's so insane for films. Like, music is a different topic, but
Mm-hmm.
there's but it's like I can't do this in an apartment. This is scary, and we're talking about volumes that are like 50 to 55. This is scary.
No, I can't wait. I can't wait to free my 90s out of the boxes once again. Fuck, they haven't played for a year now.
Yeah.
As I moved out in February.
Don't shake them too much on the way down.
Fudge. That's why I'm glad that they stayed in Laval, because if they were going through the freaking Montreal roads here, man, shit. My boards would have been falling the fuck out of them too.
Yeah.
These roads are terrible here. So hopefully soon enough the papers come. Well, I guess I gotta wait for my freaking lawyer to come back from vacation. Fuck. And then go from there. But yeah, until then, I'll be playing with this stuff over here and figuring out what's wrong with it.
That's not bad thing to play with.
No.
I mean,
I actually thought about maybe just sticking Tessa tape on each of the lamellas and putting it back on instead of gluing it. So then maybe that'll give the offset of not vibrating. I don't know. The world's my oyster here. I just don't want to break any, because then it feels bad that you have to get more.
yeah, it's not cheap.
So,
I mean,
yeah, I don't know how much is a service bag of them and how many they come with, but
yeah,
they should.
No idea.
It should be glued. They should be glued. One way or the other, they should have been glued. But we will find out after a year of this being in production to see what they adjust on it.
I should.
I wonder how you put those covers on. They gotta have clips on them, I guess, hey, for the skinny play deal. That'd be interesting. What would I make the design for him? Like, if I had him in the garage, I'd make him look like bollards. I would put yellow and black. Skid parking bollards.
Yeah, and then put a projector next to the garage thingy, so you can have your own drive-in your garage.
The interesting question: how would they do that on the lap fives? I guess it would be same somehow that you can attach it.
Well, they can fold them under, fold them over, and they have to like connect somewhere on the back. But preferably, you need to be able to do this without taking the whole top hat off to take the whole cover off, right?
Yeah, I think the 90s are the only ones that they have to be glued.
Yeah, I asked them already, and they can't do it, not without glue, and their business hinges on like our covers are totally 100% reversible.
Yes, that's their business model.
So if they can't reverse it, then they won't sell it. I mean, you could potentially ask them to do it anyway and make something custom for you, but then it is on you, and you're stuck with the glue, obviously.
Yes. Yeah, for me, I'm happy with the white sails for my 90s. I do like them. Yeah, the crown is a huge problem. How to redo that, and also the sails wouldn't be that much fun too, because there's not much to attach that freaking fabric to.
Well, I mean, they could make covers, right, that fit on them, but it'll be a totally different looking speaker because it'll just be straight down fabric. So you won't have that concaving shape in them. So you'll just have, like, I don't know, a bollard in the living room, whichever color you like.
It'll be looking huge too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
so,
I like the 8,000 deal. That's actually a very nice refresh for what you can do with it.
I mean, there's still so many sets around of 8000s.
Oh God. But yeah, I like it. I do like it. It's a great idea. And yeah, that's a speaker that B&O sold over what 500,000 pairs. So there's a lot of market for them still. They're all over the place that I go to as far as, clients go. A lot of people have 8,000s from the older systems.
Oh, they're everywhere here. I
Hmm.
mean, and if the covers aren't your thing, you can always go to Prestige for some oak or for lamp.
Don't you miss those old pictures that the B&O used to do with the X-rays? Like they had an X-ray of the BioLab 8000 uh,
I
and
miss
showed the
so much
components.
of the old pictures.
Like it was so cool back then. They should do that for the theater. Like have an X-ray vision of the theater. That BioLab 11 is such a crappy sub, man. It sounds okay, but every single one of them died. Every single one had a faulty board, the amplifier board. I actually did one on Friday before I left work. They're not hard to do. Half an hour, 20 minutes at the most. That was with the client in the shop too. That I was constantly being asked about things and whatever. So no, it's a simple repair. It's just a pain in the ass.
Also, by the way, in this picture, it's two products. It's not just the 8000 covers. They also have the wall brackets.
Hmm. Which they look identical to the original ones.
Yeah.
And those are hard to find and come by now. Yeah.
Prestige creators, massive helper of the channel. Very happy to show their stuff off. No
Hmm.
kickbacks or anything, just discount for you guys.
That's right.
Discount code Wikipedia, all in small caps, all in letters, and you get 10% off of anything on the site. So go help them out. I love the thriving third party companies around B&O. I want them
Hmm.
to succeed, like Skinny Play, like Prestige, those sorts of things, like Leo, even with his restoring of old biograms and modernizing them. I want that all to succeed because it's stuff B&O isn't interested in, it seems.
Well, they somewhat were dabbled there a little bit in there, and now it's like it's over. I still think they should make a freaking turntable like that is in production, that is network linkable, and so on and so forth. It's just my 2 cents. Like there's so many different manufacturers and whatever. I think the B&O
If
should pick up the
if
pace on that.
if they start now, it's like God, they're gonna be 5, 6, 7 years late for that hype.
I don't think so. I don't. I think the vinyl's proven its fact and point that it's not going away, bro.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going away, but there was a severe hype around it,
Mm.
and that hype is a kind of
You think it's dwindling?
it's 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 not on everybody's front of mind anymore. It's still there. It's still like if you want to be an audio nerd, go vinyl, which I enjoy. So it's nothing wrong with it. But
Yeah, I
there
just
was a
don't.
like the whole around the Biogram 4000 launch, right? That was the perfect timing to make a new Biogram within a year or something.
Mm.
That was like I don't know, let's say anywhere between 5 to 7 grand. Because you can have this classic, modernized, amazing handcrafted thing, or you can buy this new thing.
Yeah.
And the classic old amazing thing is limited, and or you can buy these. See, and it's cheap because the ultra amazing thing is 3 to 5 grand more.
Yeah, to me, I think they should have gotten on that game earlier in life as well. They kind of missed the boat on it. And yeah, the price, you pay the B&O tax heavy on it. But personally, like I said, I've moved on to digital and streaming. I don't really own any music unless I go to my storage and dig up my CDs and hard drives. But
Yeah. How I actually got acquainted with Prestige is I got one of these covers for my stage, and I still have it, and I'm not allowed to take it off.
I think it looks better than any B&O girl, to be honest with you, as far as
Yeah,
the wood cover that they've done, because that wood nonsense that is on
on the outer shell from B&O, to me it's sort of like, well, Touchwood is
it's
sort of
nice.
impressive, but
It's nice. The oak is nice. I wish they did the walnut option too. Like they should just have, if they're doing oak, light oak, walnut, and whatever else. If you like, if they want to really get expensive, make a cherry or some a little more exotic, then they just implement it throughout the whole portfolio. Like don't make it so it's you can get this, but you can't get that. If you have Lab 90s with the walnut panels, you can't get the walnut for the theater until now, I guess. But
yeah,
like this thing
again,
looks sweet.
again, it's
Absolutely.
to me it's something of the co-product marketing, right? Like
Yeah.
again, we have the theater now with Atmos and everything, and we're how long are we in? 6 months at least. When did the theater launch again? Wasn't it?
November.
Yeah, so we're about 6, 7 months in, and there's still no height speaker available for it other than on the secondhand market. It's like I don't understand.
I really hope they come up with something soon, man. I really do. Like it's due. Like they need to do something like between a 4000 and a lap 3, but don't make it lap 4 because that was terrible. I don't mind the
Yeah,
shape of the lap 4 because it was very interesting looking speaker per se, but I do mind its performance. Like it was nothing but a glorified B&O taxed a computer speaker that they kind of sort of out of pity put a power link in and tied it in with the Beosound 4, which was also you know here it is. So
yeah,
so it's it's always six of one, half dozen the other. But for me, I don't know. I just like to have kind of a unison with the species of wood and whatever else they're doing color wise.
that is the primary thing I really don't understand. Like if you because I don't know, maybe it's because they don't emphasize what they call vision customers, right? Which you and I are, and because they I think they see most customers as buying something here and there. But when we buy something, we buy it for the next 20 odd years. And then our next purchase is based off of the first purchase in terms of color picking.
That's right.
So if you buy your first set of 18s in walnut, if you buy 50s, you're going to buy the one with the walnut covers. If you buy your theater, it's going to be with walnut covers. So,
And
you,
it's gonna be silver like the rest of the shit in the house,
yeah.
or whatever. You know what I mean? Or gold. I guess if you started with like the gold 8000s back in a crazy David Lewis era of 5 different colors, like the red anodizing was cool.
But the
They don't do that
walnut is
now.
not that outlandish in terms of like I understand if they want to maybe charge a little premium for it, but make it available at least.
Yeah, I think it shouldn't be bespoke. Like if you want to go bespoke, that should be like Santos Palisander or cherry wood or something that is okay. Now we're not talking ebony, something that is not conventional.
Yeah.
That like don't tell me you don't got fucking walnut trees in Denmark. God damn it! Like you know what I mean. So but if you import something from Brazil or whatever, like one of those super rare species of wood, or then yes, I understand. Charge up the ass, but that's a different story. That's the same thing. Like you can buy a Rolex, and you can buy a Rolex that is factory set with diamonds, that is way more money, and it'll
Yeah.
be always worth more than you retrofitting it with somebody else because they drilled holes in the watch to put that in, right?
Yeah.
So it's just little, it's a little annoying.
Maybe I should take some serious action and just sneakily move Prestige over to the US, because my grandfather-in-law has, I don't know, like 5 acres of black walnut trees. And if he loses a tree or 10, he won't notice the difference because there's so many of them.
See, but that's something that, like if you want to bespoke, like you should also be able to send your own wood, I guess, to B&O. Like if you wanted something done in a
I'll
super,
send you a tree, B&O.
not tree, but you know what I mean? Like you can send raw materials, right? Like I want
Yeah.
this done from this particular species of wood, or this particular wood, because that man, like for me, had I known that my dad chopped down an old walnut tree that was there, if I had known that before I came back to Slovakia in 2016, I would have probably had him make some plain planks and have it shipped over here and make some furniture out of it, because that was a tree that I essentially had my childhood around. So shit like this, I guess, sometimes matters more than anything else.
Yeah, I guess that's the custom department then. I mean, maybe they can do something like that now. I mean, I remember Eric was saying this for years. Like, why can do BMW or a BMW, as he used to say, do individual, but B&O, the high-end audio company, you can't even do an extra color.
Right. So yeah, that's something that I also think that what B&O should do. This is more or less a constructive criticism. They should revamp uh, their material sample product list.
Yes.
Meaning that little suitcase that comes in. There's so many now fabric choices for the shape that you don't even have them represented. First of all, second of all, they should be all the species of aluminium. There should be a plate that is at least the size of like a 3M post-it, that you can get a proper reference of what the mirror finish, diamond polish, silk blasting, whatever, anthracite. Like you need a fucking sample, not just like, because they basically give you like a little thin stick that, okay, well, that's aluminium, cool. And also have that same exact size for wood, all the species that are available.
Yeah, basically like the sample box that used to be around for 90s, except larger. Because
Yes,
for the 90s, it was only about that, like it was a sort of wooden box with all the colors and stuff in it.
but it had all the colors in it. They have everything in there. So I think that B&O, from guys in marketing, please consider that. I understand it
Yeah,
might be something
don't
that
make your
dealers
dealers
don't want
buy
to.
every color of a shape. That's just not feasible. But you can put, like, I don't know, post-it note size in a box.
Like I said, it needs to be at least like, I would say 15 by 15 centimeters or 10 by 10 centimeter sample. And I understand it's going to get expensive, because how many do you need to make per each store? Well, one per each store, but you have quite a bit of shops. I'm not sure that everybody, like, I don't think that like the guys in Peru would give a fuck to order that. But, here in Montreal, like there is a lot of people that can't really imagine what the color samples are, because they do experiment with different colors.
But even so, like, the shape, what, has 16-ish colors now, if not more?
Yeah,
Like
there's more than that.
so, and they come in two. So is every dealer gonna have at least 32 shape tiles?
That's a lot of room.
Yeah. It's like, what?
Or you make a 32 shape tile system so you can show all the wood. That's insane to me as well.
Because you also have the wood version of the shape, and God, it never ends. Which is a good thing, but like, how the hell do you show all that off? Because the stuff on the screen on the web page doesn't look anything like the color in real life.
No, it does not at all. At all.
I mean, and I have decently calibrated monitors, and it's not the same.
No. No, seeing this in real life is always different than seeing it, nonsense, I guess, on the screen, the renderings. Renderings
Actually,
always, it's like,
yeah,
video game. Oh, it looks so real, but it does it,
yeah,
it's realistic is what it really is.
yeah. But it's like CGI.
Stefan put down the pipe, man. There is no need for a CD player tile in the goddamn shape.
Need? No, but I can understand the concept where you have just bottom loading slot. You know, I mean, you can buy a CD player now for $20 that's USB, right?
So then you ejects and it just basically when he just shits a CD nugget and throws it on the ground,
or sideways or whatever.
Just get a 9000.
I understand, but I mean, this is something you could probably ask if you have the money for such a thing. Ask the bespoke or custom department, or email Christian or chat to him on the Discord, because he made the little e-ink things. It's doable. It's just, if you're going to be the first, the one of one, it's going to cost you probably.
I would personally do it the way like the old Beosound ones CD players were. Put the display behind the mesh, so you just see the dots.
Yeah,
like,
that would work.
For time, I wouldn't really necessarily put metadata on it, but it's just something that says tune in or VNO radio. And that's it.
Even in this little shape, there's 4 different color tiles. Gray, light gray, medium gray, and then wood.
Yes.
And then you have the salmon, the forest green,
Brazilian clay and green moss and midnight blue and fudge me. I don't even remember how many more, but it's quite a bit.
And Parisian night blue, and it's so much.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I like the wood covers though, man. I might just revive the idea of buying a shape with the wood covers, like wood covers and black, or the gray fabric. I would probably do something white on that, so it would definitely go sick with my bedroom.
Yeah.
But,
it's again, by the way, last thing, market the shape a bit more on your Instagram and that sort of thing, please, because it's one of these forgettable speakers otherwise, and it's
a forgotten product. It's a forgotten product for them now, in my opinion. And it's an excellent sound system. Dude, we put a freaking 19 on our shape in the showroom.
I mean, because America being America, will probably have a formal dining room. And I'm thinking, like, what the hell do you put in there, right? Because it's not something...
Shape.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not exactly a place you necessarily put a TV.
No. You put a shape in there.
Yeah.
And then you go to Skinny Play and you put all your fucking relative pictures on each tile, and there you go.
Yeah, excellent idea. Works fine. And if you use the promo code, you get 10% off.
Grandma's gonna love it.
Anyway, on that note, thanks everybody for watching. I'm gonna roll the outro. I'll see you probably Tuesday, and have a good week. And look for us on the Substack if you want the audio only version.
Yeah, I won't show up for your sake to not be there, because it's gonna be a 6-hour podcast. It's gonna be like a double Titanic movie. So.
And no bathroom breaks.
That's right.
Anyway, bye everybody. See you next time.
Bye.
This long night will fade away, and we go back to our old ways, two perfect strangers in the skies. When the sun is going to stretch its arms on the road, turn us again with his shrill call into perfect strangers in